All right, so today we will be doing fraction and decimal conversions. And so I encourage you right now to pause it, get your title, and update your table of contents. And then we're going to divide our page into two columns. Now, we're going to look at our first conversion. And on this side, we're going to be going from a fraction to a decimal. And there's two short things that we can do to help us change from a fraction to a decimal. The first thing we can do is division. So it's going to be the numerator, or the top number, divided by the denominator, or the bottom number. Now, something you could do, if possible, that makes it easy sometimes, if possible, get the denominator, so the bottom number, get the denominator to 10, 100, or 1,000. If you can do that, it would be nice and easy. So pause if you need a second to get all those notes. Otherwise, we're going to keep going with example number 1. 4/5. And we're going to take this to a decimal. So it says the shortcut is, if possible, get the denominator to a 10, 100, or 1,000. Well, I can get it to a 10. So I'm going to write a 10 down. 5 times 2 is 10. So I got to do the same thing. 4 times 2 is 8. And I know that 8/10 is read as 0.8. 8/10. So I've taken 4/5 and made it a decimal by getting to that common denominator. But say we didn't see that that was a 10. We can divide the top number divided by the bottom number. Numerator by the bottom. So our numerator goes on the inside. 4 divided by 5. 5 can't go into 4. Add a decimal, add a 0. 5 can go into 40. 8 times 5 is 40 with 0 left over. I still get the same answer. So let's try another one. Let's try -5/8 to a decimal. So I don't know how to get 8 to a 10, 100, or 1,000. So we can't do that one. So we have to divide the numerator divided by the denominator. 8 can't go into 5. It goes 0 times, add a decimal, add a 0. Now, 8 can go into 50 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48 with 2 left over. Now, what do I need to do? If I have nothing else to drop down, I bring down a 0. 8 can go into 20 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16 with 4 left over. And I have to drop down another 0. 8 can go into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40, and I am done. Now, the biggest mistake I see is that most people will just say, oh, 0.625 there. But don't forget, we had a negative sign. So this is negative 0.625. Don't forget your negative. That is one of the most common mistakes. All right, let's look at the third one. We're going to change 2 and 8/9. 2 and 8/9. So if you want to pause and try this one, you can. Now, we can't forget this whole number, but we just we know that it's 2 and 8/9. So we're going to have 2 and something, point something. So we need to come over here and take the numerator and divide it by the denominator. Now 9 goes into 8 0 times. Add a decimal, add a 0. 9 can go into 80 8 times. 8 times 9 is 72, with 8 left over. Drop down a 0. 9 can go into 80 8 times. 8 times 9 is 72. Oh, I'm going to notice something. It keeps repeating. Now, we don't keep writing 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. We showed this with a bar notation, just like so, over just the one number repeating. So now we have our last problem, and I want you to copy this problem and pause it and try it on your own. -7, don't forget that 7, or the negative, when you rewrite your problem, and 9/20. So pause it right here and try it. All right, so we know it's going to be -7 and something. So just like I said up here, a lot of times people just box in their answer and forget either the whole number or the negative. So make sure we remember it's -7 and something. So I've got to change this fraction. I know that I can get 20 to 100. 20 times 5 is 100. 9 times 5 is 45. Oh, so I read it just like it sounds. 45 hundredths. So I have -7 and 45 hundredths. Good job. So you're ready to move to the next video to see how to go the opposite way, decimals to fractions.